Hello, it's Nikki. How you doing? How's things? Today's video is about portfolio careers. Now, I've had many chats about this over the years, not only in terms of my actual work and doing the thing and helping people, but it comes up a lot because I know that I do something quite different from lots of other people. And I'm not saying like I'm special or anything like that, but it's usually a talking point. So if I just said I was a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher, people might just go, or they might ask a follow-up question like, what age group do you teach or what do you specialize in? But when you say you have a portfolio career, people have quite the reaction and have done over the years. I've had so much. I don't see it as negativity because it's a bit water off a duck's back. I know why I do what I do. But all of those phrases that many of us have probably had, like, oh, you can't make your mind up, or jack of all trades, master of none, or I just don't know what you're up to. I can't work you out. And it's always that sense that people can't put you in a box. And when they can't put you in a box, it worries them. It doesn't worry me, and it doesn't worry my other portfolio career friends, but for some reason people like to put us in a box, which is fine, but I ain't going in one box, that is for sure. So I thought I would talk you through my day yesterday, because it was one of those days where it had lots of different pieces to it. And I think sometimes when people talk about portfolio careers, for me personally, I always have questions in terms of the practicalities of like, so how many people do you have working for you then? So how do you do that then? I'm always like that eager beaver kid of like, so what, how, what did you do? So yesterday was Thursday, and yesterday was one of those days where I felt like I wore all the hats. So on my About page, I talk about my portfolio career in terms of actor. So I'm a trained actor. I left drama school in 2003. I went to Mount View for 3 years and did the BA honours degree in acting, the performance option. No, in performance and the acting option. I'm a trained speaker. I'm a qualified coach and specialise in personal branding. I write. So I earn some income from a book that I created and also various articles. And I also have a podcast. I'm also a partner and a mum and a daughter and a sister and an auntie and a godmother and a pal. And I am somebody who wants to live life full out. And that sometimes takes some negotiations in terms of logistics, but it also takes, it's taken a lot of, this seems like a general term and I'm not quite sure if it's the right one. It's taken a lot of healing, as in really compartmentalizing things that people have said over the years, or people's lack of trust in your abilities. Again, maybe that's not the right phrase, but sometimes when a lot of your life you've been in rooms where people are like, yeah, come on then, show us, rather than going, you can totally do this. This is what you're meant to do. And I've realized over the years that I've had to find those rooms. And when I found them, and when I've been amongst people who are like, come on, or you can do better than that. I'm looking for the next version of you. People who will push you and mold you and shape you and inspire you and really pull out the best of you. So I've been seeking out those rooms. And I've also been working on myself about what do I need to do in order to be the person that I want to be. And again, that is quite a process as well. And if you have done any of that kind of work, I see you, I hear you, and I'm with you every step of the way. Because it's not easy. When people talk about self-development, they talk about it like you appear from the water like a mermaid and just relax on the rock. That is not the case. I always look like that person, you know, when you go on a roller coaster at Alton Towers and then you come out and off the roller coaster and you see the photos, and there might be one photo of a woman right at the front holding on, screaming loudly and not having a nice time. That is how I feel in a self-development journey. Often I am not enjoying it. I am clinging on for dear life, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So yesterday, let me talk you through the day. Yesterday was a 5:30 start. My daughter is very keen on being awake early at the moment, and that's fine. I am an early riser, but if she's in a good mood, it's an even better experience. Let's just say that. But quite often in the morning, she's very happy to have a bit of a nibble of breakfast. We often have the telly on in the morning. Matilda is very big in our house at the moment, and that's fine. So once she was settled, as I took the time to read a script, so I'm doing a 10-week acting course at the moment, and I've got a lot of scripts to get through. I've got a lot of lines to learn and tapes to do. We have session 7 of 10 next week, so the workload has really amped up. So once I'd made my breakfast and hers, and she was kind of settled, I took some time to read that. Matt was then able to take the kids to nursery and school and where they needed to go. So I had a window of opportunity. Now, usually at this time, I would go and do a yoga class, or I would run, and that's just generally what I would do. Not every day, but I would say 5 out of 7, I will either do one of those two things. But, and here's the thing, here's the first takeaway, I guess. One of my values in life, and again, this is not done perfectly, and this is not something that I've always been able to do because I've just not been in that space, in that spot, is to be able to be flexible and to have a spontaneity to my week. So one of my best pals in the world was down and happened to have a window in King's Cross. And I really wanted to see her. So what I did was, instead of running or doing yoga then, I decided that I would walk to King's Cross, which actually, by the time I'd got on the bus and the tube, it would only add an extra 25 minutes to that journey. And that's probably what I would have done as a run. So I just shifted that all back and I got straight on with my work for the day. And that work for the day was a couple of self-tapes that I had to do and I had to submit. I had some emails that I needed to respond to. I needed a few things that I needed to sign off. Sorry, my Fitbit is doing some bizarre things. It's telling me I'm doing moves and I've not been anywhere. Anyway, so yes, I had lots of things that I needed to get through. I also set a few videos live. So I guess this is another point that I've been doing, is that I create content that I know is packed full. And not only packed full for the moment. So if you wanted a opinion on something that is happening in the news right now, today, I am not that person. But for the long term, things, tools, strategies, exercises that you can take away and use whenever you need them, I am totally your girl. And this not only works well in terms of my clients being able to get what they need when they need it, it works at growing my personal brand when I sleep, when I play, when I'm working, totally up to me in that moment, because I use really searchable tools. I also use many different platforms. So I spread myself quite thinly so different people can find me. And that works really well for me, that strategy. So whenever I'm creating content, I'm always asking myself, why am I doing this? What is the purpose? What is the end goal? Who am I trying to help? What position are they in? What is going on for them right now? Because it'd be so easy for me just to take a picture and go, hi, I'm just doing another picture here. Oh, and be in that space. And for me, in order to make my time work for me properly, I have to be very purposeful with it. One final thing that I have been doing recently, and that was in the chunk of the morning, was finding really great homes for my content. And I talk about this so often with clients, that give people to have the option of more. So for example, if somebody reads an article of yours, or if somebody watches a video and they go, oh, that was great. Oh, she really spoke to me then. Oh, I like that kind of style. Are you giving your client, your customer, even more of that? And quite often, and I was saying this to a client, which I'll go on to in a little bit, a client last night, you want to set up your online business, your online profile, to be a stalker's dream. Now, I'm not advocating stalking or trivializing it in any shape or form, but I know personally the way that I consume content, when I finally see something that, because there's a lot of stuff that you just scroll by, when I see stuff online or I resonate with somebody, I go, oh my goodness, great, what else have they got? And I dive in deep. And so that is a really great way to support your client's journey. And when I'm talking about journey, I'm not only talking about their development, but maybe the sales journey as well with you. So by the time they come to you, they are ready. They're thinking, I really know you now. I saw that video. I like that bit. I'm looking to do this. And it feels really good. And that's ultimately what you want with this. The next thing, I did my walk. I had some lunch, and these were leftovers from the night before. This is another tip that works all of the time. We always, where we can, cook more than we need to. Or sometimes I have really boring go-to lunch ideas in my fridge. So there's one lunch that I particularly like, for example, which is giant couscous, and then you chop loads of veg in it, olive oil, salt, garlic, avocado. Sometimes I'll put some, I don't know, prawns in, or mackerel, avocado, whatever I've got in. And I'll usually make a big batch of that, and then I can just scoop it out and add freshness into it each and every day. For me, if I had to come up with gourmet lunches every day, that would be a disaster. I mean, I would just faff about. Also, I don't eat bread at lunchtime. Well, very rarely, even though I absolutely love it, because bread puts me to sleep. And again, I'm really trying to eat for energy, eat for clarity. I do not want fogginess. That I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, but I know for me personally what works in my body. And I advise you to investigate what works in yours too. So I did my walk into King's Cross. I spent that time, I spoke to my mum, which was lovely. And I also used this time to look around. And this is, walking and exercise outside is always so great for me, because it puts me in the world without me having to use a lot of energy. As in, I get so many ideas just from looking around, or seeing marketing, or being inspired about something, or I'll create a link in my head and suddenly something will click together. And for me, that is a great use of my time, because often when I sit down at my desk and say to myself, right, got to think of some really good ideas, they just don't come. They don't arrive. And so I know for me, walking really does that. And some people might go, what, you walked for an hour? You walked for an hour? Really? And that would just seem bizarre. But again, I used it for good. I used it in a great way, and I felt really good for it. I then saw my pal, which again was really lovely. And then I got on the bus home and I went straight to school. So my daughter is starting reception. She had her settling in, meet her class teacher, meet her classmates. And as part of this flexibility thing, for me, it's really important that I am there. And I'm not going to profess that I will be perfectly there every day for the rest of my life, because, you know, why set ourselves up for perfection? It doesn't do anybody any good. But when I can, if I can, I will endeavour to be there. And it was so lovely to watch that chapter unfold and to see what the next chapter may look like. I think a child going to school is quite a moment, and especially as she's my youngest, it's going to be interesting having two small children at school and working very differently, and personally opening a different chapter for me as well. Then I had to go to the supermarket because we didn't have the food that we were all inspired to eat for dinner. So everybody came back. I ran out to the supermarket, which is fine, it's 5 minutes away, and then kind of set up dinner. I then had a client session. And this client session is a bespoke thing. So it was 3 hours of work, so 6 till 9. So working till 9 o'clock at night is quite late for me. But I loved digging into that client's business for that bulk of time. And that for me was brilliant because I felt like we completed a lot of circles in that. And I think for many of us, when we are juggling all the things, it can feel a bit itty-bitty sometimes, and that we're never quite finalizing things. So that chunk of 3 hours was great for my client, but also for me as well, feeling like we'd made real progress and it was useful for her as well. And so I guess the moral of the story is, one of the things that I really noticed yesterday was that A, you definitely can do more than one thing. B, it's great to do more than one thing, because if that's how your brain is wired, you will feel in that sense of like, oh, this is great. And last night at 9 o'clock when I'd finished, I felt energized. I felt good. I felt like I was doing the things that I was supposed to do. And I know the opposite feeling. I have been in those jobs where I am literally looking at my watch the whole time, counting down the minutes, messing with the time, playing mind games, and that is not how I want to live. The final point I want to make is I can do lots of things because what I offer is very clear. And I'm saying that with confidence now because for many years it wasn't. And I used to almost become a bit insulted of like, why don't you understand that? Why is this not clear? Until I realized that if I needed to make it more clearer. So instead of being a bit victim-y about it, I decided to shift it round and say, thank you very much. Thank you very much for asking more questions and it not being clear, because now I know what to do. I now know I need to add in another paragraph there to really solidify that, to make it even clearer. And so over the years, my website, my online presence has been something I've constantly worked on, because I do want to have an evergreen business. I do want to have not a huge... Hi! And so one of the focuses, I guess, that I've had over these years, and something that I tell my clients, is to be really clear, because you can do more than one thing. You are more than one thing in your life as well. And so, see, this is the juggle. Do you want to come in? Okay. This is the juggle. Sit here because I don't really want you to be on the video, but my mum will hug you. Yes, this is how I am finishing this video. But yesterday was a really good sign that you can do lots of things and be a mummy. I'm gonna say hi. And yeah, enjoy it. No, enjoy it as you're doing it. All right, I will see you soon. Bye. I didn't quite finish the video there, but my daughter has gone out the room now, so I might have a moment just to speak to you. If you want help with your website, your online presence, and to get to a stage where you know that you are building it on strong foundations, that is really key. And also it can be hard if you don't know where to start, and I can help you with that. I know personally I don't like a lot of randomness in my business, in my life, in my communications. I actually said this to my son the other day, where I had to repeat myself about 4 times. And I heard myself say it, of saying, I've communicated with you really clearly here, so please can you do as I ask? And I realized that knowing my own personal brand, knowing what I'm good at, knowing what I'm absolutely not good at, has been the key to doing this for so many years. There are various ways that you can work with me on all of this stuff. And the best place, I would say, to kick off is to go to my free course, which is in the digital room on the freebies house. So nikkieraby.com/digital room. But if you're thinking, I've got to get this website up and running, or I keep popping online and they're not really doing much and just sharing and liking a few cat videos dancing, I need to get some sort of formula to this. I need to get some sort of rhythm to it. Then working one-on-one could be for you. All of my sessions are bespoke. As always, there's no set, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. I'm really interested in what your business is, and I meet you where you're up to. So if you have a clear direction for your business, great. If you don't, I can help you find one. But yes, the best place to go to would be nikkieraby.com/online. That's where all of that good stuff is. Equally, if you want to price and package your personal brand so it works with your life, you might want to go to the money page, nikkieraby.com/money. That is actually it for now. Thanks so much for joining, and I will see you soon. If you've got any questions, go on my website, nikkieraby.com, and go to the messenger button. That comes directly to my inbox. I can answer questions, we can get started, and I'll see you soon.